When Tom Holland set foot onto the set of Uncharted for the first time, he saw his co-star Mark Walhberg, and Tom realized he was about half his size. Tom is known for being in amazing shape for his role as Spider-Man in the MCU, but in those films, he's more ripped than he is huge. Which makes sense seeing as Peter Parker is a high schooler for most of the MCU timeline so far, but Tom Holland knew that if he was going to nail the more mature role of Nathan Drake in Uncharted, he needed to bulk up. Because Tom didn't want to look like Mark's kid, he wanted to look like his partner. Tom was soon given the chance to focus on his fitness and bulk up when he was locked down at home for 5 months, and he definitely didn't waste this opportunity. I'm Paris Demers, a full-time personal trainer and online coach, and I'm going to be telling you everything we know about Tom Holland's training for Uncharted, and at the end of the video, I'll be providing you with the resources to train at home and get results just like him. In the past, I've covered Tom's training for the Spider-Man films, and for those movies, his workouts were primarily high-intensity resistance training circuits. He would take 4 to 6 functional movements like bear crawls, squat thrusters, or renegade rows, and perform them in a circuit for 4 to 5 rounds with as little rest as possible. This type of fast-paced training worked perfectly to prepare his body for the role of Spider-Man. Training these functional movement patterns really improves your flexibility and ability to move like an athlete, and by performing them back to back with little rest, you'll burn a huge amount of calories, and when combined with a proper diet, this will lead to a ripped, chiseled physique. But when it comes to bulking up and building a solid amount of muscle mass, this type of circuit training with functional movements is definitely not the way to go. So when Tom Holland was at home training hard for 5 months during the lockdown, what type of training program did he follow? While Tom and his trainer George Ashwell haven't released his full program, I do know that George is a very experienced and knowledgeable coach. So George knows that the most optimal way to bulk up and build muscle quickly is with hypertrophy, aka bodybuilding training. Bodybuilding can be done in a number of ways, but typically a good bodybuilding program consists of multi-joint compound movements like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, or bench press to focus on larger muscle groups, and then single joint isolation work like bicep curls or dumbbell lateral raises to focus on the smaller muscle groups. Since Tom Holland was training at home for the 5 months, he likely only had access to some dumbbells and maybe some kettlebells. But even with this kind of limited equipment, you can still build a great physique at home, and I'll tell you how at the end of the video. Of course, you need to properly fuel your body if you actually want to build any muscle from these workouts. So Tom needed to be in a calorie surplus while eating 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body mass if he wanted to provide his body with the ideal environment for building muscle. So instead of providing you with a program here like I typically do, I'm going to send you to my full body home workout guide. This guide is meant for both people who are new to fitness and those who have been working out for a while, and it'll guide you through everything you need to make gains at home with or without equipment. I'll see you there.